So the next thing I'll show you here is the Great Mosque of Djenné, which was part of the Mali Empire, founded in the 13th century, and then rebuilt in 1907. And I have a video available here to watch about the mosque, and I would really like you to watch this one. It's a very well-made video. And when we look at the mosque here, according to Arab accounts, the first version of this mosque was constructed during the late 13th century when the king of Djenné converted to Islam. He erected the mosque on the site of his palace, so the new building absorbed the religion and political power of the old society. And it's an amazing piece of architecture made out of mud, made out of adobe, that is replastered in a very elaborate ceremony every year. And one of the telling features that is from this area of Africa is that these wooden supports actually stick out. Instead of just being running across the ceiling, they're sticking out. They become an architectural feature, but they're also used to climb up the side of the building when they are re-mudding it or replastering the building. The next thing here is the Songhai, and let's just go on a little bit about that. That during the 15th and 16th century, the empire of Songhai arose along the Niger Bend and conquered lands formerly controlled by Mali. During the 6th century, Mali's cities on the Niger were raided by soldiers from Morocco. So what I'm showing you here, it was built with brick and then plastered over with layers of mud. It has an interior courtyard, a formal reception room on the upper story, and a flat roof used as a traditional workspace. And I have for you, once again, a video. I will give you a little bit more information about the Songhai Empire because we simply just don't have time to go through me making all of these and be so many images. Next are stone circles, and these are the part of the UNESCO Heritage Site. We really have very little understanding of what they were used for. So we do believe that some of these are marking graves, and they were constructed somewhere around the 3rd century BC to the 11th century. Next, we're looking at the Bamana Society, and they are also located in what is Mali. And the figure I'm showing you here is dating from the 19th to the 20th century. Religions that use iron staffs in this part of Africa are generally called Jo. And if you look at the hands on the figure that's riding the horse, you will notice that his hands are like really, really big, and they're supposed to be making a reference to a crocodile. So, of course, these are very dangerous animals. So it's taking on like his power and the bravery of the crocodile by showing the hands like this. Much like when we looked at Egyptian art and we had the pharaoh have a body of a lion, same kind of idea. The Bambana were and are a large ethnic group within present-day Mali. They occupy the central part of the country in an area of savanna. So this figure is a female figure who is sitting on a low chair or stool. Anytime you see somebody sitting on a chair or stool, it's right away it's going to indicate that they have power. And in this case, this is a mother figure that is supposed to represent not just one individual mother, but the idea of like the collective mother and like the goddess mother that would be overseeing and taking care of the entire community. She wears a symbolic hat of power that is thought to be like a sorcerer's cap. She has extenuated breasts, indicating that she is breastfed. She holds a baby that clings around her abdomen, and then she is decorated with bracelets at the arms. And so this figure is very important, showing that she is watching out over the people. She's taking care of them. She's going to make sure that no harm comes to them. This was accompanied by other figures displaying extraordinary power, such as horsemen. This is a male leader who is seated, where he wears a distinctive hat, carries a spear, displays a dagger, and is presented as a warrior. He would have been one of 3 figures, and then they would have been used during annual festivals. As a group, the displayed figures established the association's goal, which encouraged both personal and service to others, both paternal strength and passion, and maternal responsiveness to family needs. So let's look at these 2 images, both actually from the area of Mali, right? But this is from ancient Mali, and this is from the Bamana. They both are shown with rather long torsos, right? This is made out of clay. This is carved out of wood. We have the faces not individualized, so they're representing a collective idea of motherhood. And we know right away, this one's an easy one to figure out, that she's supposed to be a mother because she holds a baby. But if you remember, I said this is also representing a mother because she has scarification around the belly button. She is decorated with a necklace. She is decorated with armlets, I guess, or bracelet, you could call it. She has a sorceress hat on. She does not wear a hat. Neither one has realistic faces. She's sitting on a stool. She does not have legs and is not sitting on anything, and neither of them has feet. She is also missing arms. For the Bamana, many of their religious beliefs are symbolized in their masks and carvings, which often feature the antelope, because they believe that the antelope is what taught humans how to farm. So very important. They also are certain numbers have meaning to them. So 4 is associated with female, 3 with male, and 7 is then for a couple. And so this is the Natamo, and it's used for age grade. So age grade is like when you're a certain age, you go through a certain ritual, and then there's another one after that. And there are many of these that you will go through. So this particular one is used for boys who have not yet hit puberty. There's an age grade for that. And the boys have to go through stages that help them become men. In order to do that, the boys have to leave their families and go into a camp where they learn the skills of adulthood. For their training, the boys have to wear masks that represent the principles of conduct that they are taught. The masks with the 4 horns represent principles and refer to femininity. The women at the top of the mask represents the time when women and men were separated on earth, and a reminder to the lessons taught to them about women. And there are 6 male initiations that the boys must go through before becoming men. Next, I'm showing you a boli. This boli is really large that I have an image of. It's about the size of a small child. There is one shown at on display at the new African art section at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. That's smaller, but these are really cool. They're made by layering clay and fabric, but also things like sacrificial things like blood, and then also feces, and all like things that often in our society we kind of like don't want to deal with and would never ever think to use for art materials. There's a channel that runs through this animal, we'll call it, and you can pour sacrificial materials like chicken blood or something through it. I have a little video on it that you can watch. I just always like these. What animals are representing, we don't know. And often in African art, it's not supposed to represent an animal. It's supposed to represent like the symbolic thing that is the combination of animals. So maybe this is like, a water buffalo, or I don't know, something along those lines. Or maybe it's a mixing of a number of different animals. And here we have the antelope horns. And again, antelope are the animals that they believe taught humans how to farm. And the Bamana masks are the symbol of the Como society. And the Como society is a secret society where you learn how the universe works. The Como society is made up of the blacksmiths, who also carve wood. There are many societies in the Bamana, each with different members. For example, there's a society for farmers, blacksmiths, whatever your trade is that you're learning and doing. With the blacksmiths, I think I explained this in an earlier video, that because they're able to take this hunk of metal and make it into something, they're actually thought to have some kind of magical ability, because they keep the knowledge of that secret. And then it goes from the father blacksmith to the son blacksmith. So it's all within the certain families. This mask that I'm showing you here, it has an open mouth, and the horns, tusks, and porcupine quills symbolize the Como's power to punish those who violate the rules. So these also have like mud and dirt, and not things that we would think maybe, once again, to use in artwork. But these are, masks that again are made of multiple creatures or animals. We've got the representation of an antelope and a porcupine and other things, and made out of all natural materials. Here I'm showing you the Kora Society perform theater for people that would challenge immoral authority and morality of the people by over-exaggerating their flaws. Their performances would include masquerades and puppets that would portray animals, and their goal was to promote common decency and reinforce the common values of the society. So the theater was a way of actually teaching the children that would watch this and the people how to live correctly within the society. The Kora masquerade that is danced with the masks perform in a hysterical manner, often mocking, shocking, and disgraceful behavior, scandalous to expose human weakness. The performance can last several days. Young men and women are put into groups by age as self-help organizations. So again, it's a way of, teaching how to live correctly. So I'm going to stop here.